What's going on, congregation? It's Willie B here yet again, and today I want to give you guys a book breakdown of Mark Manson's Everything is Fucked. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, before I go any forward, I would just like to let you guys know that this video is brought to you by Neon Vice. The track that you hear underbedded in this video is No Brains from their EP Why Her, and if you would like to check out more of their music, you can listen to Why Her on all digital streaming platforms. Link is in the description for the Amazon link, but make sure you check them out on Apple, Spotify, Google Music, and all other streaming services. Mark Manson gets into this book and he starts out by explaining to us the uncomfortable truth. And to be quite honest, he's 100% correct. We, in the grand scheme of things, in this world, individually, do not have that much significance. Matter of fact, think about it. When you die, they pretty much just say how long you lived and whether you were a good parent or not. So it is not a question why so many people seem to have so much despair, so much lack of hope, and so many mental illnesses and depression and anxiety in America. We just deal with so much despair. But there is hope. But we have to understand what that hope is rooted in and where we can find the tools and the resources to build our hope. Lesson number one that I got out of this book is that hopelessness is at the root of so much. A lack of happiness is not actually sadness, but it is actually hopelessness. The lack of hope is at the root of anxiety, is at the root of depression, and is at the root of mental illness. The better things seem to get in the world, whether it's technology, innovation, healthcare, whatever, you tend to see more disparity throughout the world. And that's how much more we experience it. To build and maintain hope, Manson says, we need three things. That is a sense of control, a belief and value of something, and we need a community. Another lesson that I got out of this book is understanding control. And Manson kind of breaks it down in the sense of that we're moved to action by our emotions and not necessarily what we think. And that what we do is a result of how we feel. And if you think about that, that really makes sense. A lot of people say that, oh, if you knew better, you do better. But the fact of the matter is we know better all the time, yet we don't do better. And why is that? It's because we don't feel like doing it. We don't work out because we don't feel like it. We don't eat healthier because we don't feel like it. We don't get up in the morning when we know that we were supposed to meet friends for coffee because we didn't feel like it. Yet, that's what we suffer from, is the fact that we don't feel like doing what we're supposed to do. The goal is to have your emotions and your rationale work together and get yourself on a path to take action towards your goals. Willpower and mental toughness are not the sole factors in our decision making and our actions. Another lesson I got from this book is evaluating value. Our values determine how high something is on our list of worth, and when our values change, we do also change the rankings and the order of the things that we actually do value, and or whether they make that list or not. When you change your values, you have to lose part of what you once were. And that's why people are so resistant to change. Change is so much of a factor and so much of a dislike, whether it's positive or negative to people, because the fact of the matter is part of you or a part of what you value has to die. So when you sacrifice one value for a better value, that's always going to be uncomfortable. You're always going to go through a bit of pain because part of what you believe has to die. Losing yourself is painful, and that's why change is difficult. But change is understanding that you have to lose something in order to gain something else. Another thing that I got out of this book is really understanding a sense of community, because values cannot be changed through reason, only through experience. The more you gain, the more you have to lose. And also because the more you have to lose, the harder it is to maintain hope. And that's really the fact of the matter for so many things. People with less seem to be sometimes a little bit more hopeful because if they do lose it all, it wasn't that much in the first place. But the fact of the matter is you need to surround yourself with people who have the same values as you and take hold of control in the things in their lives in a good fashion, because that sense of community is something you can lean on. Somebody that has the same values as you, has the same faith as you, and believes in the same things you do. That is a community, and that is a close-knit thing that you can grasp onto. Another lesson I got out of this book is understanding the fact of taking ownership. Because Manson breaks it down between a child, an adolescent, and an adult. And many people talk about adulting all the time, and I'm gonna talk to you about what I feel like he's speaking about in the book. He talks about how a child seeks pleasure in any way that they can, and how an adolescent seeks pleasure via navigating rules and principles. But the adult puts their pleasure aside and puts their principles first for the sake of principle. The fact of the matter is, how they feel isn't as important as the overall values that they hold or they believe in. And that's really funny for me to think about. We sometimes try to finesse or finagle our way around to getting what we want, when the fact of the matter is, what we actually value sometimes does not fall in line with what we want. We're trying to be more responsible beings, and we value actual financial security, or we value our family, or we value our freedom, yet we do not do the things. Sometimes we do the opposite of the things that fall in line with our values. And if you're going to truly be an adult and not just act like one, you have to put your principles first and your pleasures to the side, and you have to commit to the things that you need to do. Acting unconditionally is difficult because it requires faith. Acting on principle is essential in living and operating in a sense to where you do and you don't do certain things simply because they are or they are not the right thing to do, whether you like it or not. Another lesson that I got from this book, and this is one of the larger ones that I understood, was that you need to determine what type of pain you like. And pain, to me, in this sense, is kind of synonymous with your sacrifice or your commitment. Pain, commitment, is essential and necessary as far as being a facet of experiencing life. Pain is also the currency for our values, commitment. And without commitment, there cannot be purpose. If you don't commit and you don't sacrifice, what are you living for? There are different types of pain, commitment, that we deal with, and it comes in two forms, good and bad. The good being innovations. Those are things that make our pain commitments a little easier, whether that's technology that streamlines how we go about health, whether that's technology or some sort of innovation that helps us be more efficient in our travel. That helps makes us more efficient and helps to not necessarily reduce the pain, but upgrade the pain. There are also diversions from pain, whether that becomes drinking, smoking, or any vice that you have. It's simply a diversion from the values in which you should hold, and it's going to hold you back as far as progressing. Self-limitation is choosing what you will sacrifice and is the only true freedom that you have. Your commitments open the door to greater freedom and influence. That's all I have for you guys today as far as this book breakdown on Mark Manson's Everything is Fucked. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or you want to just give me a shout out, leave a comment below. Make sure you like, comment, and share and retweet, and follow me on all social media at @It'sWillieB. See you guys next time.